January 8, 9:46 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, No 1.
Good morning, Mr. Wright.
Good morning, Maggie.
So, what do you think is going to happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well and ended on a giant mystery. That's true. And we still haven't solved a single part of it yet.
Are you okay, Nick?
Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I saw that little flash of doubt in your eyes. No. That wasn't doubt. That was, determination. Why don't I believe you?
It's nearly time, Maggie. You better get going to the defendant's seat.
Roger. Don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you.
Hey, Bow!
Hey, Detective Gumshoe.
Quit stressing Maggie out. She doesn't need that.
How did you know she was stressed?
I was watching through the doorway.
Oh.
You look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, pal? Here, maybe this'll help.
Huh? Have you taken up aromatherapy too?
Not in a million years, pal. Don't tell me that you don't remember this thing. I don't.
Come to think of it, that doesn't look like one of the aromatherapy bottles.
This is the small bottle that turned up in Trebian's kitchen a couple of days ago.
Oh, wow. Look at all these little bottles.
Poison, right?
Well, we don't know.
Oh, they're aromatherapy oils. He's got so many, they're overflowing onto the floor.
Hey, wait a minute. There's one bottle. It's different from all the others.
Well, what do you want to know? Well, what do you know? It doesn't even have a label either.
And it doesn't smell. No.
We finally got the analysis results back from the lab.
So, what is it? Is it the poison?
I'm afraid not, pal. It's, medication.
Medication?
Yeah, for years. Topical use only, apparently.
Ears? You mean?
Yeah, it's a medication Glenn Elg was using for his ruptured eardrum.
What's Glenn Elg's ear medicine doing in the kitchen? Small bottle refiled into the court record. What about the unidentified fingerprints? Anything on that?
Someone screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour and they might have gotten something on the prints, but,
That's gonna weaken its impact as a piece of evidence.
Okay, pal, this is it. Make sure your defense is impregnable today. Got it?
Today's trial. I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done, or my name isn't Phoenix Wright. Dr. Phoenix Wright.
Damn. January 8, 10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom, No 4.
Oh my gosh, it's Dr. Phoenix Wright. Did you hear that he got his doctorate recently? Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Ready and waiting as always, Your Honor.
Very good. Then we'll get underway at once. Yesterday we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Kudo. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder into the victim's coffee. However, the witness's testimony was plagued with a number of problems.
The mark on the rim of the cup shows that the victim drank from it with his right hand. But according to the old man's testimony, he picked it up with his left hand.
Thank you, Mr. Godot. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, the victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear. Yet the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear.
It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, huh, Nick?
Ha! Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world you see keeps turning, and we must turn with it.
You've lost me already, Mr. Godot.
Don't let the mysteries of yesterday mystify you today. Only losers think like that. You've got to change with the times. That's one of my rules.
Are you implying that you've resolved these contradictions?
You know... Oh,
You know the answers to these riddles?
the old guy wasn't just throwing seed in here. He was throwing us off the scent. And today I'll prove it.
Very well. Let the first witness take the stand.
Oh boy. And you are?
Oh, bonjour, everyone. I'm Sean Armstrong, the owner and chef of Tribulations restaurant. Enchanté.
That sucks.
Forgive me for asking me, witness, but are you a woman?
Nice.
Oh la la, monsieur. As you can see, I am la belle and perky gentleman, no?
This is the most masculine French person. On the
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. The day of the incident, you were in Trabian's kitchen. Isn't that right?
Oui, sir, monsieur. Everything feels right.
Ha!
Wow, he's totally unfazed. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy? Very well. Your testimony, please, witness. Please tell the court what happened that day at Trébien. Oui, volontiers. Trébien. When it all happened, there were 2 customers in my restaurant. I remembered I was experimenting with some new art decos that day. Like having a large mirror between the tables, for example. Oui, perhaps that is what the old man was looking at. La cup, la earpiece, and la glasses. He would have seen everything in reverse, no? A mirror? Oui, un grand mirror. La most enormous mirror. Whoa. He stanced.
He is.
That what bricked up means?
I hope not. Maybe. I mean, that could be you, Michael. And suddenly, the mystery disappears. Like I said, the world keeps turning, so roll with it.
That would explain the coffee cup and earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front. The heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Très bien.
I just press these baddies.
But not the second one.
Okay.
And who were the 2 customers exactly? Ma, of course, la young man who died. And la other, not so young man. You are referring to yesterday's witness, I presume. About the other man, Maggie saw that. Bleh. Something tells me Mr. Armstrong isn't planning to disclose his existence.
Well, we need some hard evidence first before we can bring him up, don't we?
Guess I'll just have to try a different approach for the time being.
I'll press
Okay,
it.
fine.
Yeah.
You were experimenting with Art Deco? How come I never heard about that before today? You're not familiar with this language of interior design, monsieur? Please stay on topic. Now, why didn't you tell the court about this before? But I did, just a few moments ago. Ahem. Excuse me, Mr. Armstrong. This deco you mentioned, are you referring to some sort of decoture? No, Art Deco. It's a style of design, Your Honor. He's talking about the interior design. Walls, ceilings, carpets, that kind of thing. Ah, yes, of course. That deco. I was trying to achieve a more feminine look for my restaurant. I was planning the most bold remodeling of the decor.
Yeah, I got one about these mirrors, man.
How big of a mirror are we talking about here? Boof! Something about 4 meters wide in air. About 2 meters high. See, if 1 meter is about 1 yard. Holy glass in a frame, Batman, that's huge. It was intended to install it on the ceiling eventually. Ceiling? Is there a mirror on the ceiling? I don't remember. My none! But I decided not to go through with it in the end. What should I do? Should I ask him more about the mirror or not?
Might as well, right?
Oh, yeah. You really had such a large mirror in the restaurant. Someone would have noticed it. But there's nothing about a mirror in Mr. Kudo or Maggie Bird's testimonies. But...
Objection. You didn't ask, Trite. You have only yourself to blame for such sloppy work.
What?
A mirror was delivered to Tribien the day before the incident.
Really?
As Mr. Armstrong testified, he was carrying out some design changes. And as it turned out, he didn't actually use the mirror in the end.
This just doesn't add up. Even if a mirror was delivered to Tribien, it doesn't prove that it was in the restaurant on the day of the crime.
Ha! If you want to doubt someone, Trite, look in the mirror. I'm sure the person looking back at you will be dubious enough.
So the witness yesterday had seen the victim reflected in a mirror. What if he did? What if he's not lying?
He could be cooking.
Normally, I'd expect people to know the difference between a reflection and a real object.
Objection. Normally? How does normality come into this? That's lame, Trite, even for you.
Huh?
Are you trying to say that if something isn't normal, it isn't possible? Is that it? Where does that leave the porky-headed lawyer and the top-notch chick over there? And the ungodly cool guy with the mask over here? Well, Trite?
Ack! Not the
I
hair!
didn't have a top knot.
He's kinda right.
Zagato is correct. A lack of normality is no basis for discounting an argument.
There is an unreasonably cool man in the prosecution's bench.
Yeah, logic as one lady.
Let's press that as well, I guess.
Everything. He would have seen everything in reverse? Oui.
Hey, Nick, we should take a second and think about what old CD said in his testimony.
How did he phrase it again?
That boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. No question, you can look me up if I'm wrong, it was the left ear, no doubt. And he used the same hand to pick up the cup his left hand.
Saw everything he described reflected in a mirror, and everything he said he saw on the left was actually on the right, huh?
And that clears up all the problems with his testimony, I guess. Or does it?
Ha!
Kinda hard to believe everything's the fault of a mirror, but...
You think old CD saw everything through a reflection?
he did. It would explain all the contradictions in his testimony.
That just makes the situation worse for Maggie. There's gotta be something in that old man's testimony, we just gotta dig deeper.
Okay, so there's
can
something
we
for them.
present something on that last line? We just need to present his picture.
Wow.
He was wearing the earpiece on the same side as his glasses. Which is his left.
Ah.
The coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we?
That boy was wearing the same spot. No question, you can lock me up. Please lock me up. Up.
So to summarize, we were told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now Mr. Kudo saw all that in reflection in a mirror. It means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side. Exactamente. You see, monsieur, now that you think about it, it's not so odd, none? Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. Mr. Kudo really did ever see everything in a mirror. Why is it the HMD is now on the wrong side of the head?
Oh yeah, I didn't
That
think
makes a
about
really
that
good point.
just now.
I hadn't thought about it that way. Order! Order! Mr. Wright is correct. The witness genuinely observed the victim reflected in the mirror. Then we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right eye.
Objection. How bitter. Trite, you should have at least a taste of this bitterness. It'll calm you down in no time.
We talking about your coffee or Something completely different.
You don't understand the way the witness thinks.
How he thinks.
You remember this, I presume?
The I broke the vase sorry apology letter? I mean, Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony?
Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit, other than throwing seeds. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. Rogue?
Well, clearly it's the victim's eyepiece.
And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Oog's HMD made a big impression on the old man. I saw the earpiece in those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh yes, they were both on his left ear. Don't you hear? His left ear.
Sounds just like him.
Ha. Well, trite.
Ah, that's the worst but best impression of Kudo ever.
Thank you.
Oh, I really thought he was old CD for a minute. Goto's good.
Enough! I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash with much of his testimony.
Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the boil of a contradiction you found is just a rash.
A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell the court. We're all ears.
Oui, I can't explain. Please, if you look at the plans of the restaurant. A mirror. Hello. Is everyone sitting comfortably? The mirror, it was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two halves. There's only one seat from which you could have seen the victim. That was the seat at the table right next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting. After the terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it's not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else. I see no problems with the explanation we have just heard. From the table next to the victims, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror. The nasty little coquette I am, confusing us men like this.
Don't worry about it. We can keep up, except for the guy breaking out in a cold sweat over there again.
I hate that guy. Who said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror? Are you quite sure about that? Volunteers, of course. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please.
Okay. I feel like this is a presser.
Awesome.
Alright.
A mirror. So, run this by me again. The mirror was here, correct? Oui. We? Really? Because I know if I were you, I wouldn't have put a mirror there. It would be in the way.
Objection. Look who's talking, Trite.
Huh?
They're obstructing my view, among other things.
But, this is my seat in the courtroom.
Trabian's charm is that it gives you the impression that you're the only customer. Temporarily placing a mirror in that spot would hardly be in the way. Unlike you, Trite.
I tell you, monsieur, la mirror was there in the middle of the restaurant. There's only one seat from which you could have seen the image of la victim.
Alright.
And where would that be? Ooh la la! Look how you lean towards me. I always attract the younger boys. Maybe I should keep you in suspense a little longer. Mr. Armstrong, please tell the court what you know at once. I attract the older ones too, you know. And so, shall I tease you too? Longer.
He's thinking about it. I'm already seeing a very hot someone, so I'm afraid you'll be waiting for a long time. I'm fucking my coffee.
I bet she has mocha
Put my
cream skin
dick in
and
the coffee.
cappuccino perfume.
Yeah, I will tell you. There's only one seat from what you could have seen. That was the seat at the table next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting. Why can you only see the victim from that particular seat? My monsieur, it is obvious then. If you look at the plans, you will understand. The victim would have been reflected in the mirror like so. If you're sitting at that table next to him, you would see everything, no?
So that's the seat Old City was sitting in on that day. When the poisoning happened.
The old man was sitting at the table next to the victim? Why does that seem kind of odd?
Does it?
It does. Can you look at the picture of the crime scene real quick?
Yeah.
Anyway, you picking up what I'm putting down? Yeah. This piece of evidence contradicts with testimony we have heard, Your Honor. A crime photo? Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist. What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright?
Should not exist? Ha! Sounds like you're describing yourself, Trite.
Uncalled for. Now
Highly
then,
called
if the
for.
defense would please clarify its statement. What is the something that should not exist in this photo? The vase! Wow! I think it's pretty obvious what should not be in this picture. The vase? What possible connection does that have with this witness's testimony? Your Honor, I'm telling you that there should have now been no vase on this table. Because it very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence.
Boom.
There's only one thing that clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there's an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not in fact sitting at the table next to the victim at all.
Objection. Don't be an idiot, Trite. That's impossible. The seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from.
Exactly. There's only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Tribune that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie. Mon Dieu!
Holy shit, that's insane. Objection.
Most French thing I've heard today.
Don't try to confuse the court, Trite. Obviously, the witness cleaned up the vase, while the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene.
Unfortunately, Mr. Godot, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary, in his own words. I did not touch anything else except the mirror.
Ugh. Ugh. Ugh.
Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day. In light of this revelation, we return back to the original program. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear which he couldn't hear?
Ha! You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, Trite, then this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw?
I can answer this, and it'll be that much closer to the truth. I can feel it.
Are you going to be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick?
There's more than just one contradiction, Maya.
What do you mean?
Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table. And there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason. Why nothing in this case is adding up. Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple. The victim was a phony?
It's got to be, right? Because, like, so Mr. Kudo has been super insistent on his testimony.
Yeah.
The ear doctor wouldn't make a fucking mistake.
Well,
Okay.
this one didn't.
This one didn't. Okay, you're right. Okay. I mean, it's not the doctor necessarily, because, like, the guy... Anyway, whatever. Shut up.
Okay, my real
Yes.
thought, right, is like
Yes.
if he's sitting there at the table, right, then if you put headphones in most of the time, if you're just like vibing by yourself, you're putting earphones in both ears, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're not by yourself or you need to talk to somebody, you might take your earpiece out, you know? Mm-hmm. But you wouldn't need to take the one out of the ear you can't hear from, you know?
Potentially.
That's a thought. I don't think it's a good thought.
And that
But I
doesn't
don't-
correspond
what's
to any of
phony
his
about this
answers.
victim?
Well, I mean, the victim. So my idea is because the victim had their shit on the wrong side, that was probably like a mistake. That means that's a different victim.
Sure, let's do it.
That's what,
Well, like
that's
a
what I'm
third of our
cooking up.
life. This case is riddled with contradictions. Yet there is one very simple answer that clears them all up. And what is that? The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events.
What?
Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenn Elg at all. It was an imposter, a phony pretending to be Mr. Elg. Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake.
Okay,
Oh, wow,
yeah, maybe.
that was a really good spit taking. That's really impressive, to be honest.
Yeah, I was recording.
Order in the courts! Settle down or I'll clear the courtroom!
Quiet, Gramps. Why don't you clear out of here, huh?
What did you say?
Trite. Are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup?
Yes. Someone pretended to be Glenn Elg and acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo.
Objection. Get real, Trite. Why would anyone want to do that?
Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was...
A serving girl brought him a Javachino, but you put something in it. That's the serving girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well.
It's so hard to believe, but... There is one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo the fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee.
Objection. Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but... It's also true that the chef was there. He would have noticed what was happening.
That's right. Well, witness. If your restaurant really was the scene of such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct? This is most difficult for me. No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You are under oath, after all. Was there, in fact, a phony at Trey Bien that day? The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened. Defense's request for additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain in detail the events in the restaurant that day. Oh, oui. In le restaurant? La victim, Monsieur Elk, he came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. There were no other customers. When he got word he won the lottery, Mon Elk became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. None. There is no time for the funny to do the acting. Just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all? Je vous demande pardon! Forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mystery cleared up quickly. What you have done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong.
Finally, someone says it.
Woo! Yeah! Let's go! I will decide how to punish you later. Oui. Well, now we will hear your cross-examination. Mr. Wright, if you please. You took that perjury charge a bit too well. But I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after the cross-examination.
Alright. Let's press him, baby.
Press him. Was he alone at his table as well? My oui, I saw him from La Kitchen. Yet the defendant, Miss Bird, remembers it differently. She swears there was another man at the victim's table.
Objection. Ha! Unfortunately for you, Trite. Yesterday's witness also testified that the victim was alone. You know, seeing you squirm like that reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet bite.
What kind of coffee has he been drinking?
It's not coffee, it's love. It's love that's bittersweet.
Hearing Maya say that makes her seem wise all of a sudden. Remember that old man arrived? By old man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct? Oui, he comes often for my special coffee.
I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience.
Oh, you make me so happy, monsieur. You're most welcome anytime.
I said it was worth one sip and nothing more.
So old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant around the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail. What time was it?
Yes.
Out of curiosity, about time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived? Oh no, I cannot remember, monsieur. I believe we were told by a witness yesterday.
Now, the crime scene was aboard at 2:25 p.m. by a scary old man.
Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness? The incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived. So the victim must have arrived between 2 p.m. and 2:10, no? Got him. Just after 2, huh?
Am I missing something? I think I'm stupid.
Thank you for your help in jogging my memory, monsieur. You're very wonderful. Ah ha ha ha! I can't sit here all the time and do nothing now, can I? The time of day will be added to the witness's testimony. Oui, monsieur judge. Everything I do it for you. Merci bien. That's French, isn't it? Ha ha ha! I'm glad at least one person is in a good mood.
He's even humming a song to himself.
Merci bien.
What? What am I missing? Sports paper. Job listing. That. Nope. Okay, that lines up. Nope.
Ah! This is the 10 most thrilling minutes of your life, and you better never forget him again. I'm afraid you finally got you, Mr. Armstrong. What do you mean? At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week, they announced the winning numbers of the $500,000 lottery ticket. Oui, ça must be le show mon Eric was listening to. I can't see any problem with this testimony, Mr. Wright. Well, I wonder. You say the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2 p.m., correct? Oui, I'm sure of it. I remember it perfectly now. I know it was at that time because I just finished serving my lunch menu.
Get to the point, Trite, if you have one.
That show is broadcast live at 1:30 p.m. And it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life. It's on the air at 1:30? Well, now, supposedly, the victim made some sort of noise when it announced that he had won. And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. Because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time. No! This victim has been told about nothing but done the impossible. Listening to the radio with a ruptured eardrum, catching a show that was already over. There's only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. This victim was a sussy imposter, acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder.
Marcus!
Wow, that makes a lot of sense. Yes, there were 2 Glen Elgs in Tribien that day. The real Glen Elg, now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer. And the phony Glen Elg, acting out the events for Mr. Kudo to the witness. It certainly seems that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy?
Objection. Quite a performance, Trite. You're almost on a roll. But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song.
What is this? Music Theory 101?
Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m. The phony Elg is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain, then, where the real Glen Elg is?
I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court. However, at that time, the real Glen Elg was already dead. That's certainly the obvious conclusion.
Objection. Thank you, Trite. It's exactly what I was hoping you would say.
What?
Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours? Can you explain where the missing corpse went to?
The missing corpse?
According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. That customer was the phony Glenn. Then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim?
Yarg!
In the mirror.
The prosecution has a valid point there, Mr. Wright. If your theory is to stand up to examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body? Yes, Your Honor.
No conjecture, Trite. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden.
Evidence?
Well, what's with the intense pressure in here all of a sudden?
Thought I had him with that contradiction. But he's turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead. Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the Mr. Elg concealed? Okay, can we check the court record?
Yeah.
1 brief second, right? Can we go to the left by 1?
So in the kitchen then?
That's I'm cooking.
Okay. Yeah. No. I believe it.
Because outside of Tribien, most likely would be the square.
Yeah, which is
the Vitamin Square.
Public.
Yeah. Well, it would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside of Tribien. Interesting. But where could a body have been hidden inside a restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show the court on these plans, Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. The exact location where the body was concealed inside Tribien is...
Yeah, that's probably the kitchen.
Body was hidden here. I see.
Nice supposition. But the real question is, can you back it up with a source? Where's the evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location?
Your meds.
Yeah. No, I think you're cooking.
Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle? No. I've never seen such ugly bottle before in my life. I'll use the very best bottles, monsieur. The highest quality, only for me. Where was that bottle found, Mr. Trite? Well, interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Tribulations. Quoi? But I'll never use these bottles for my aromatherapy oils. But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication. What kind of medication? I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Elk visited an otolaryngological, right? Otolaryngological?
Yes.
Yeah, otolaryngological clinic and was given medicine that day.
Wait, Otolaryngological.
Geological.
Okay, last part's logical.
I'm thinking about
Larry.
Odo, or is it Odo?
Otolaryngological.
Laryngological. Otolaryngological clinic. It was given medicine that day.
You can't be serious.
The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results here. The contents of the bottle match the description that was given to Mr. Elg. Glenn Elg's murderer hid the body in the restaurant kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen? Mon Dieu! Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Bird. However, you were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back. No!
That's pretty rude.
Yeah, he's messed up. I hate the French. Order! Order! This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Mr. Glenn Elg? Never! I could not do such an horrible thing! Mr. Godot! Why are you throat goating over there?
The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. As one of my rules.
Slightest idea how many cups you've had by now?
Then I like to do the same to the person who lied to me. I like to take them down with my empty cup. Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear, my H-deficient friend?
Chef mon patron, you must hear me out. It's a trap. Listen to me. Por favor. Yo hablo español, Mr. Armstrong. And por favor is Spanish.
The fuck was that? I'm only gonna ask you once. Did you do it?
None, absolutely none. I simply.
Let's hear it. You've got one shot, right, Gramps?
Witness! The court will permit you the chance to make one final statement. You lie under oath again. Mr. Godot's coffee mug awaits you. As does my gavel. And my axe.
And my coffee.
It is clear. I always say in the movies. Got a bad feeling about this. Very well. Begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong. The confession. It is true. I hid the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason I could not refuse. But they did not kill him. I swear it. You must believe me. You were forced? But by who? I cannot say, or I will be erased. Let's try a different question then. When Mr. Elg died, was he really the only person at his table? There was another man. knew it.
And he was telling the truth.
You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright. Just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get him to tell us the name of the real killer.
I think we just present the contract on that third or fourth statement.
Body in the kitchen forced me to do it. There's no reason yeah, there's a reason I could not refuse.
Oh, do it.
You have $500,000 debt, don't you? $500,000? Is that true, Mr. Armstrong? Oui, je suis désolé. I was weak. I borrowed the money.
Yeah, me too. I do that
Oh,
all
wow,
the
what a
time.
freaking idiot.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck you.
This is Mr. Armstrong's Achilles heel. And that's why you couldn't refuse anything asked of you by this man,
Oh, they swapped
the
places?
old man,
Yeah.
Victor Kudo.
Damn.
A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you to. Oui, it is as you say.
Mr. Armstrong.
La Tiger. He told me he was going to use my restaurant for a business rendezvous. On the day in question, he was meeting la victim demands that he repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to do. I had no choice. I carried the body and now inconscious Maggie out of the dining area and into the kitchen. After that, I tried to forget what I had seen. I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigre. I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison in the lottery ticket were found in the defendant's apron pocket. Was that your doing as well? None. I knew nothing about that. Making it look like it was Maggie who had done it. I was not. It's despicable. Mr. Godot. You will summon this Furio Tigre as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow.
30 minutes.
What?
The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand. Not a minute more.
How the?
Don't sit back and relax yet, Trite. No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way.
Very well. Your request is granted, Mr. Godot. We will resume once Mr. Tigre is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess. To be continued.
Next time.
In today with your weather report. The weather is certainly a temperature outside, with a high of the one that is higher than the low temperature of single today. Slight rain chances within the next 48 to 97 hours. Several of the area going to be cloudy. Much of it will have sun. Plants will grow. This has been your weather report. Back to your regularly scheduled programming. Oh, doctor, no, I've been so ill for so long. I just don't know if I can have help. Well, baby, just know Dr. Love is gonna fix you right up. There's a little something love can do that nobody else can. And it's to get you to believe in yourself. But doctor, I haven't believed in myself for so long. There's just no reason to anymore. I can't keep a job. I can't even keep my betrothed. Oh, everything is terrible. Schmack. Stop that, lady. You're being crazy. Of course you're still gonna find love, because you're gonna make it through this. All right, look me in the eyes. Dr. Love to patient style. Ow, wow, bow, bow. We're gonna make it through this. You remember that letter that your deceased mother wrote you? Yes, I still have it here, in my locket. Well, pull that thing right out and get to reading. I remember when you showed me it the first time. She believed in you. Look at what she wrote in the end of the tagline. I can't bring myself to look at it anymore. It's just so painful, Doctor. You don't understand. No, take a look. Or I can quote it for you. From the heart.
What the fuck did I walk in on?